What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. I am Jess. Thanks for clicking on today's video. It is a month 2 or week 6 or 7, I can't remember, update of my New Year Better Me Weight Loss Challenge. So for those of you that might just be stumbling upon this channel, I like to do weight loss challenges on a monthly basis. It keeps this weight loss journey more exciting, more interesting. It lets you figure out what works and what doesn't work for you. Also to help create new healthy habits, to keep it interesting and not be so boring, because when you have a lot of weight to lose, it can get boring and easy to give up. So at the end of the day, we want to keep going. We want to do it. We don't want to quit. So that's kind of the theme for why, or that's kind of the method behind the madness of why I like to do the monthly weight loss challenges. So we'll do that update. I also have 2 delicious and yummy recipes that I made this past week. It was really cold this past week in North Texas. I don't know, I never thought Texas was going to be cold when we moved here, but it has been cold. So I made some soup and wholesome recipes to help warm us up that are really quick, that are kind of like a plop and drop style soup. So that's coming up. And also we'll talk about the month 2 portion of the weight loss challenge. So with that said, I do want to mention, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. This is just my story, my experience with losing weight, overcoming obesity, changing my lifestyle habits, not giving up, that kind of thing. So just remember, at the end of the day, you do you. So if you do enjoy seeing somebody who's actually overcoming morbid obesity with a true lifestyle change, keto, low carb, high protein, exercise, changing things for real, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications so you don't miss any videos. So with that said, let's jump into the rest of the video. And real quick, before I go any farther, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Element. Element Electrolytes have been my favorite brand of electrolytes. They're the only brand I've been reaching for over 3 years now, if not longer. They are my favorite brand of electrolytes because each packet contains a science-backed ratio of electrolytes. So you're getting 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium in each packet. All while being gluten-free, sugar-free, no artificial flavors, fillers, colors, dyes, that kind of thing. Just a delicious and refreshing tasting electrolyte. I'll put 1 packet of the watermelon, which is one of my favorite flavors, in my water, and I'll sip on that all throughout my workout. And then I'll just refill that water bottle for the rest of the day, knowing that I got my water in. So drinking electrolytes help keep me hydrated. They also help me stay motivated and fueled throughout my workouts. I do a lot of intermittent fasting, so they're great to sip on while I'm doing my fasting, that kind of thing. My kids absolutely love the orange and use them during the sports, especially in the summer. They just drink those electrolytes in when they're sweating hard. My husband loves the citrus flavor, but don't take my word for it. You can get this free sample pack with any order using my special link down below. You can use this link as many times as you want, but it's only available for the Keto Rewind community. So go to drinkelement.com/Keto Rewind and get this free sample pack with any order. Thanks, Element, for sponsoring this video. Now let's talk about the month 2 of the New Year Better Me Weight Loss Challenge. So going forward, instead of going like week to week, it seems so tedious. The calendar kind of fell weird and had like a couple extra days to start. I either had to consider January, the first week, like a 3-day week as a total, or pop it on the next. Then it's not fair to the following week. So I'm like, let's just simplify this and we'll go by monthly totals. So right now we just completed obviously January, and now we're in the month of February. So for the month of January, I netted an 11-pound loss. So it just makes more sense to just do a February total versus week to week in my brain. So with that said, so also when it comes to month 2 of the weight loss challenge, I'm focusing on metabolic confusion. So I'm mixing in intermittent fasting. I'm doing some higher carb days, not necessarily a cheat day, but a day where I'm adding a higher amount of carbs than I'm normally having. I'm having like some blueberries, or I'm having maybe a potato or some source that I normally don't have, but just to throw off my metabolism. I don't want it to get set in a rhythm, because when it gets set in a rhythm, it gets hard to like keep going down. So if you keep that metabolic to keep that metabolism kind of guessing, I'm throwing it off. So I'm not in a predictable pattern. My goals still are I do limit the sweeteners and any of those extras because those in itself are more triggering. And it's easier to just avoid them altogether while I'm in this weight loss mode. So I'm limiting sweeteners, and I'm cleaning it up. So it's very simple, less processed foods, very minimal ingredients, basic stuff like an egg, like it's just where you don't have this huge long list of, ingredients. So while it might be keto, it has an ingredients list this long. That's what I'm kind of avoiding. So, and that's kind of like, I feel good that way, and that's has been working for me. So, and it's easier to make something when you only need like 5 ingredients to whip up a meal than it does to have a list this long to try and, hammer out. For one, I'm super busy. Both of my girls are now playing select softball. They're playing on other sports teams as well. So it's like, spring sports are upon us, and I can't get fancy. I have to keep things simple and to the point so that I stay focused on my goals. So that includes doing more intermittent fasting. So if it makes sense, if I've got a hectic morning and I can fast till lunch and skip the breakfast, that's like, it works for me. So, but I'm not doing it in any set or pattern. I'm following my schedule and how it's fitting into my life, kind of customizing it to fit for me. And then that also keeps that metabolic confusion going, because if I'm fasting one day, I'm not fasting the other, it just keeps my body guessing, or instead of just getting like comfortable. So I do want to say it was really cold last week, and I did not want to get off the couch last week. I normally am not like that. I'm just a busy person, but I was so cold last week. I think it was down to like 11 degrees. Our lows here in North Texas are not normally that cold, but we had a wind chill one day where it was a negative 11 with the wind chill, when you factor that all in, which is so cold. So I had my game face on to do a lot of exercising last week, and I did not do that. For one, my gym is located in my garage, so it was really cold out there, and I just did not want to go out there and lift weights. And despite I could, it's not like I couldn't go out there. I just was making too many excuses, and I stayed on the couch instead. So that's the first thing I'm going to talk about this week, because I failed in that. My goal was to get exercise in. This month is adding back in exercise, because month 1 was focused on nutrition. Month 2, I added the exercise back in that I was not doing for month 1. So like it's a goal of mine, and I did not achieve that last week. So I do want to say, of course, there's a quote that shows up on my newsfeed. It's like fate. But the quote's like, the life you want is on the other side of the stuff you don't want to do. So I want to lose weight, right? I want to get down to my goal weight. I want all these things for my health to change. But one of the reasons why people fail or are unsuccessful when they try to lose weight the right way, diet, exercise, is they let the excuses get in the way of truly making those changes. And if you want to change your life, you have to change everything about it. So that means when I wanted to sit on the couch, because that's what the old Jess did, I need to get up off the couch and go do something. Whether maybe I could have put on YouTube and did a yoga video or a dance video or something inside where it was warm and comfortable, but it's about getting uncomfortable to be able to change your life, because self-growth comes when you're uncomfortable. You don't grow when you're like all set, and happy and comfy and have all the feels going on. That's not where the self-growth comes from. Self-growth comes when the rug is ripped out from underneath you and you either have to sink or swim. And when you choose to swim, that's when you get better. That's when things change. If you sink, you go back to the old you, and nothing changes, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is the life that I want to live is not on the couch. It's getting up and changing the times when those specific times actually, is when I make that effort. Instead of the old Jess, the voices or the excuses get louder, I need to be stronger in that moment to get up and move, and change and do something else. But I chose not to. I chose the excuse. I justified the excuse. It was cold. It was 11 degrees, So that's what I'm trying to say. Those when the excuses are louder, that's when you're not going to change your life. That's when you go back, and that's when the old Jess wins. The new Jess that wants to change gets up off the couch and finds a way. So it was not that I want to like bash on myself, but it was a good learning experience this week, and it also showed that scale didn't change. I didn't lose any weight this week. And if I would have got up and I would have, worked emotions out and who knows where it could have taken me. I could have been down 2 pounds this week. It's just one of those things where I let myself down. So I don't want that for me. And this week, although the weather is better conveniently, I'm getting up and I'm moving. I'm gonna get my workouts in. I'm gonna be louder than my excuses. I'm not gonna justify that behavior anymore. I'm going to be better. So I thought it was relevant to share. Of course, I don't want to share I failed, but it is very important, and it happens in a weight loss journey. So 1 week's okay. You blow it off and you move on. But you also have to move on, and you can't live in that, because the longer you live on the couch, the longer you don't change your life. So that is basically my inspiration to you guys. Don't do what I do. Make the change. You have to truly change everything about your life if you want to change your life. You can't put lipstick on a pig, and expect to call it a horse. It is what it is. So make the change. So my plan for this week, obviously with the weather being better, is I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna enjoy the weather, especially this time of year where you're not sweating to death. I don't have to have like 13 showers a day. So another reason to get out there and enjoy this weather is that it's nice and pleasant, and I just need a big coat, but it's doable. So all I'm saying at the end of the day is make the change, and don't expect you to change if you're not changing. Does that make sense? With that said, let's talk about 2 recipes. So the first recipe, I went out to lunch before my parents left, and I got a sausage, pepper, and onion and egg skillet at our local restaurant, and I was like, oh my God, this is so good. So I wanted to recreate it. So I don't actually have like a link or anything for you to look at, but you basically chop up some breakfast sausage, some peppers and onions, saute that all up, throw some egg in there and scramble it, and then slap on a little bit of avocado, and oh my gosh, what a delicious and easy breakfast that's full of flavor, that's nice and keto, high protein, low carb, that kind of thing. So that was my first, here's the finished product, if you will, but it is so good. I mean, I just wanted to keep eating it. And then the other one, being that we had a bunch of really cold days last week, I made a bunch of soup recipes last week. And this one's from the Kaizen Pasta website. There's a bunch of recipes on there. So I'm like, what the heck? Let's try a keto lasagna and use the Kaizen pasta, which is a low carb pasta. You can swap it for the miracle noodles. You could swap it for some other low carb pasta. You could take the pasta out, you don't even need pasta. But the Kaizen pasta is really good. Just note that if you have a peanut allergy, it's made from the lupin bean, which is in the peanut family. So FYI there. But this was delicious. It was one of those ones you just ground beef in your pan, saute some onions, and then also you just plop it and drop in some beef broth, beef bone broth that is, and then throwing some cheese, throw the pasta in and just let it simmer. It took less than like 20 minutes to make it, and it was so good. So here's the finished product, and it is definitely a recipe worth making. Again, it's in the my recipe lineup now for at least until summer while it's nice and cold and I need a hearty soup recipe. And then I thought you could really mix it up and add some veggies in there. You could, make it more of like a veggie lasagna, soup. But it was so good. So with that said, the plan for the week is to keep doing what I've been doing. Get up off the couch, get the workout in, continue intermittent fasting, and continue eliminate. So with that said, I'm going to get up off the couch this week and get my workouts in. I may even make a screenshot every day or of my watch or something to show that I got my workout in. And then also continue with the intermittent fasting so that it's randomly throwing off my metabolism. And then also keeping it very simple when it comes to meals. And also getting all of my water in. And I might even go out on a limb and try even tracking some macros this week. I have not done that for a while. I wanted to, but that one's like so tedious and time consuming. So it's like, if I have to, I'll go down that route, but I don't want to unless I have to. I'm at that point now where I can judge what I need to eat in a day, that kind of thing. And then I also know when I'm overeating, that kind of thing. So it's just one of those things where either you need to make that effort and time for it, or put that effort into like meal planning and going that route. So that'll be a time saver as well when I've got a gazillion games and stuff for my kids to get my kids to for youth sports. So with that said, it's month 2. We're not done yet. We're about 3/4 of the way through the month of February, so let's make it count. I am Jess, you're watching Keto Rewind, and don't forget, if you want to try a free sample pack with any order, use this link and get your free sample pack. I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye!